Let's now translate this definition to kernel language. So the function append becomes a procedure with an extra argument. So L1, L2, let me call this extra argument L3. And now the case statement in the kernel language, each case statement has only one pattern. So case L1 of nil, then, and we can't just do L2, we have to say the result, L3 is equal to L2. And then we have else. So the case statement now has the else, and there's another case, L1 of h bar t, then. So now we're in the second case. Now we have to translate this piece right here. Well, there's an intermediate result, which is append t L2 L3. So let me write it first. Append t L2 L3. But it's not L3, the output. Let's call this one T3. Now, L3 is going to be equal to H followed by the result of this recursive call, which is T3. We still have to define T3. It's not defined. Local T3 in. So it's a local identifier. So let me put in here an end, since we're not going to handle the error case in this particular example. I'm going to leave that out for now. So here, take a look now at these statements here. Local T3. So L3 is H bar T3. L3 is the result. That corresponds to H bar this. And T3 is corresponding to the result of this recursive call. And here we have the recursive call TL2 T3. So this T3 here corresponds to this T3 here. So in fact, what happens is that we're creating the output list with an unbound variable as a second part, and then this recursive call is going to bind that unbound variable. So doing it like this means that the recursive call is last, because we can afford to create a list without knowing its values. They can be unbound and filled in later. So this is a correct definition. We can actually compile it and run it, and we use a very good property of Oz here, which is that the kernel language is a subset of the full Oz language. So let me define this now, and let me run it. Append of 1 to 5, and notice I'm calling it here like a function, because functions are just procedures with an extra argument. I could also run it like a procedure. I could say append like this, 125.876R, and then do browse R. Now let me put this on another line. So I could do that like this, for example, and it should give me the same result. So notice that we have now the kernel language translation here, and that in this kernel language translation, everything is visible, and in particular, we see that the recursive call is last.